Conference. Today, we will have a series of exciting panels featuring mentorship, fintech or finance technology, family business, and others with a roundtable of the industry captains and fellow advocates of us inspiring and enabling MSMEs around the region. Alam naman po natin, the very reason that Go Negosyo exists is the mentorship of MSMEs. So, let's get on with the panel. The first panel for this morning. And the first set of speakers will be introduced in a little bit. Okay, ready na po ba kayo? Please check your Facebook Live and make sure that you're sharing our page. Okay? Sige po. Now, sandali lang po, no? Siyempre, konting padalastas. We will not be able to run this program as well as we are doing without the sponsors that are powering this segment. Let's say thank you to ICTSI, RFM Corporation, SM Investments Corporation, and BDO Unibank. Okay, ayan po. All right. So, let's get on with the panel, which is called Mentoring in the New Normal. To our viewers, please note that our panelists today are the mentors of the mentors. They are the experts who teach our mentors. So you can be sure that whatever they share with you have been tried and tested and have been the product of years of experience and trial and error. So, for our first speaker, let's welcome Council Member of the Asean Business Advisory Council in Malaysia. He's also the Managing Director of Brickfield's Asia College in Malaysia, Mr. Raja Singham.
Hi. Hi.
Hi, Raja.
Hi, Claire. Great to hear from you and great to be here today.
Okay, so there's Raja. Let's also welcome our next speaker, Co-Chair of ASEAN Business Advisory Council in Brunei, a good friend and a shaker and mover in Brunei, Honorable Abdul Rahman Siti Rosemary Yanti. Hello, how are you, Yanti?
Hi, nice meeting you again virtually. Looking forward for our panel discussion today.
Okay, there you have it. And a third panelist is the President of the Young Entrepreneurs Association in Cambodia, Okna Kuch Peng.
Hello everyone.
Hi there, welcome.
I'm looking forward to share our discussion today.
We love your background. Thank you for sharing a little bit of your culture with us. Our next panelist is the President of the Australia-ASEAN Business Council and also the Managing Director of Venture Knots in Australia, Miss Eleanor Mack.
Everyone, with you.
Nice to see you again, Eleanor. And our final panelist for this morning at this Mentoring in the New Normal is none other than our own Go Negosyo Senior Advisor for MSME Development and the AMEN Project Management Office Executive Director, Engineer Merly Cruz. Hello, Merly.
Hello, hi, good morning. Thank you very much, Jobs.
Okay. So, now, to make sure that this panel is well run, I would like to turn over the panelists to our moderator today, Dato Steve Chea.
Thank you, Josephine. Good morning, everyone. And greetings from Thailand, Sawadee Krap. It's a pleasure and honor to be here, to be amongst this distinguished panelists. And today, I had the pleasure of leading or moderating the sessions with all these very experienced people on mentoring. We are going to be talking of mentoring in the new normal. a lot of us, every one of us has been facing a number of challenges now with the COVID, and it's still going on. And we obviously have to change our ways of how we could tackle the situation. Many entrepreneurs obviously facing many challenges in business and so on. And mentoring is one very important part of how we could try to help these entrepreneurs. So without further ado, I like to, start having our speakers share the experience and what they've been doing and what we can learn from the situation, and furthermore, how we can further improve on the situation. Perhaps I could start with Raja. Could you, just share with us what have you been doing as a council member of the ASEAN Business Advisory Council in Malaysia or around the region in regards to, mentoring in the new normal?
Thanks, Steve. Yeah, actually, we've been running various programs. One of the key things right from the outset of AMEN was to run programs that cover all sectors, from the micro businesses, the small, medium enterprises as well. So we cut right across, helping all these businesses cope. COVID has brought about a lot of new challenges. And one of the key things we ran was also a business bootcamp right in April, which was attended by 700 businesses, and then running multiple sessions after that to help them cope with the new business models, remote working, working from home, taking their businesses online. And this actually helped lots of different types of businesses, from restaurants to people even from small companies, manufacturers, to ask them to rethink their entire education providers who had to move all their courses online. So that has been a crucial aspect of changing the entire mentoring process to address the new normal issues. So that's been key. And you're right to say mentoring has to take into account the impact of COVID, and that how some businesses benefit. A lot of the online businesses have actually seen their values grow, their revenues grow, and they've been there. But a lot of other businesses have been adversely affected. And the key idea is to help them adapt, to change, to stay relevant and stay ahead. That said, this has also brought about a lot of new business models for pushing more social entrepreneurship, pushing more startup entrepreneurship, getting new people on board, because there's been huge displacement in the job market as well. A lot of people have lost their jobs. So some of the projects we are running now, one is a thing called Project Entrepreneur, which complements AMEN. Project Entrepreneur is basically training 10,000 entrepreneurs for free in Malaysia, which is being done and funded by us. It ties in with ASEAN Back and AMEN. Second aspect is also Project Deep, which is a project on the digital enterprise and employee program, which is built on creating a digital workforce. So anyone can come in, a current entrepreneur who wants to see how to improve his business, someone who's been laid off, who can go and look at picking up new skills like digital marketing, social media marketing, data analytics, all these new areas. So they enhance themselves both in the employability sector and also the entrepreneurship sector. Other things we've done are looking at things like gigpreneurship. So we actually try to get people, as they are losing their jobs or as their income in their work reduces owing to impacts of COVID, how they can join the gig economy and also manage themselves better so that their incomes can stay or grow. So it's got to be a very fluid type of approach. And we've got to look at also, we are appointing more entrepreneurs, training these entrepreneurs, assigning them to mentees. But very much what we've been doing is always large-scale training, large-scale knowledge programs, and then from that, for those who, so we cover everything from markets, access to markets, raising your capital, managing your money, managing your business, looking at every aspect, branding, going online, HR. So all the different aspects of business, we train them as much as we can. And then from that pool, we then tell them that those who want mentoring, come forward. So because we've always approached it from a point of mass market training large groups of people, making sure they've got that body of knowledge, making sure they have that experts. And then they reach out when they need help for mentors, then we assign them mentors. So Malaysia is very happy to be part of the AMEN project. It's a great project, something great to see across ASEAN. And we hope, I think with the right work, as I'll always say, I think we've got this we can work through this COVID problem. And there are a lot of opportunities. I mean, as an entrepreneur, the first thing is whenever others see problems, you should learn to see opportunities. And there are a lot of opportunities. The idea is to learn, be able to grab these opportunities so you stay relevant in this post-pandemic world. I mean, currently we're still in the pandemic, but all these things were coming. It would have just taken longer. It's just been sped up, that's all.
Thank you very much, Raja. Very good insight on what you're doing in Malaysia. We will be coming to the questions and answer at the later stage. May I now invite Puan Siti to perhaps share with us what you've been doing in Brunei.
Hi, Steve. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, maganda umaga, everybody. And I would like to say thank you very much for this invitation and the panelists here at the Amen conference. So it is a great honor for me to deliver remarks on behalf of the Brunei Business ASEAN Business Advisory Council. It is a very important conference that Go Nego Show has worked very hard to prepare and to discuss with regard to the MSMEs and inclusive growth in ASEAN, more so especially during this time. I would like to congratulate Joey Conception and his team on the 15th anniversary of Go Nego Show. It is heartwarming to be here with everyone to celebrate this huge milestone. Now, at this panel discussion, I would like to share a few words and our insights on BMEN, which is Brunei Mentorship, and also Brunei Legacy Project, HIRED, H-I-R-E-D. The birth of BMEN is the byproduct of the ASEAN Mentorship for Entrepreneurs Network, AMEN, which is the legacy project under Philippines. So in Brunei, we have a national body for business, which we call Darussalam Enterprise. And this was established to develop our MSMEs into resilient drivers of economic growth. And one of their many initiatives is BMEN, which was launched in 2019 in collaboration with the ASEAN Business Advisory Council, Brunei, where business mentors are brought together to share BMEN mentors, to share their knowledge and also to mentor the growing business in Brunei on voluntary basis. BMEN mentors also have the opportunity to be part and have access in diverse expertise and mentoring resources provided by the regional network, such as AMEN. So through the first formalized business mentorship platform, BMEN, local MSMEs have been given the opportunity to connect with Brunei-based business owners, professionals, and also academics from diverse range of industries. So by having this single platform that profiles all mentors from diverse backgrounds is definitely an opportunity for MSMEs that should not be missed. Now, as an impact from AMEN, through this platform, we would like to share the positive impact of mentorship throughout the region. Now, under BMEN, there have been activities such as mentor clinics, speed mentoring, etc. But during the COVID-19, during this time, BMEN actually introduced the virtual mentor circles, which is an online group mentoring program running for 3 months, designed to help business affected by the pandemic itself. So during the online group mentoring sessions, businesses can share and discuss problems faced in a specific area of business, setting goals, and build competence and confidence in working individual on goals with the resources, guidance, and support, and the motivation of BMEN mentors. And this is to make sure that during the pandemic time, no one is left behind. Now, at the first round, there are about 20 sessions and receiving such a positive feedback from the mentors and mentees. And BMEN is now looking to run the program regularly, and we're gonna currently running at the second round, which is gonna end by December. Now, this BMEN is actually a game changer for the Brunei's younger MSMEs by providing them the support from those who actually have established themselves in a different field. It is dedicated guidance on starting and how to start and managing a business. So as you all know, I would actually like to emphasize the importance of the mentorship in the region, especially during this time, because it offers opportunities for personal development and benefit for both mentors and mentees. Now, in regards to BMEN, we have also envisioned on moving to the next level. In fact, we next level for BMAN, we call it as BMAN Plus. As you know, BMAN is more on one-to-one mentorship. However, for BMAN Plus, it is our hope that we can link BMAN Plus with the Brunei Legacy Project 2021. So the Plus is basically training or mentoring by company instead to actually lift them to the next level. So as Brunei is taking over the ASEAN Championship next year, I would like to take this opportunity as well to welcome partners, to partner and collaborate with the ASEAN Brunei Advisory Council for our legacy project. So with Hyatt, we would like to bring mentorship for digital Tibet. The chairmanship will greatly ride on digital transformation to push, rethink, reshape, and strengthen Tibet to be one of the pillars of economic development under this new normality. So it has been emphasized that regional collaboration is essential to minimize the economic damage from the pandemic and restore our economic growth. So on behalf of ASEAN Business Advisory Council Brunei, I'm inviting partners to come together with us to make the legacy project a success. I would like to give our continuous support on supporting Go Nego Show to advocate in establishing prosperity for all. And I'm proud to see how far Go Nego Show has come in promoting entrepreneurship. So congratulations again. Thank you, Dato.
Thank you so much, Wan City. And we are looking forward for Brunei to host the ASEAN leadership next year. And we especially welcome your invitation for regional cooperation. Definitely, the new normal requires that. May I go on to invite our next speaker? Could I invite Mr. Ongkar from Cambodia to share what you've been doing with the Young Leadership Association?
My name is Ingrid William. I'm the president of Young Entrepreneur Association of Cambodia. What we have been done is not far from what is Amen is doing. In YEAC, we have our very clear strategic action plan, which today we already have set our strategy for 2025, which including the access to debt and equity financing. Number two, on the digital and inclusive MSME. In the previous year, we used only SME, but this new term we will use as to be inclusive MSME to include the micro into our direction plan. And on the third part is the skilled workforce. Empowerment our skilled workforce will lift up the MSME in our economic. And the fourth one is on the conducive SME policy, which we are dialoguing between the private sector and the public sector in order to find a solution for the ease of doing business in Cambodia. What are the regulations that we should include to support the MSME that already exists and the startup coming up? And the fifth one is on the market access that we collaborate with our international partners, including the ASEAN Young Entrepreneur Association and our partner like Japan, the Young Entrepreneur of Japan, China, and so on. And the sixth one is on the Resilient and Sustainable Association, which all this are not far from Amen doing. That is money, mentorship, and the market. So among all this, we have done one of the example that we have did in last week that we also doing the Global Entrepreneurship Week, which in the past we did it physically, but this year we do it online. Some of the province we do it purely online, and some of the province we do it hybrid basis, which means that we have the physical attendance plus the online. So we find that this pandemic have given us very big challenges in organizing our events. But in return, we find that it is a very good opportunity for our young generation to explore what is new and how we get it done. And impressively, it reached more people because of the broadcast of the online. This year, we reached almost 47,000 people, including the hybrid of the physical plus the online. So I think this is one of the very impactful that we have learned during the pandemic times. During this time, we do not have peer-to-peer mentorship, but what we are doing is the online dialogue with our members to find a solution, especially on the money basis. As everyone know that most of our business are impacted during this period of time. So we dialogue with them how to solve it and discuss with the bank how we do the financing to support the SME in Cambodia. So all this what we have been supporting to our members, as well as we have among our young entrepreneurs, some of the business are not directly impacted. So I believe a lot of business around the world, they take this chance as a pandemic to cut down the employment. But for us, as a young entrepreneur, we know what we should be done. So we already have the plan in a scenario. We try not to cut the employment because it will impact the ecosystem of the economic as a whole. So we are trying to minimize the cost, but not cutting directly on the employment basis. Thank you very much. This is what I can share on what we have done this year.
Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. Yes, it is great because you're running the Young Entrepreneurs Association. I believe you've probably been very successful in getting the young people to come online. Okay, may I now invite our next panelist, Ms. Norma from Australia. Would you like to share what you're doing in Australia?
Thank you very much, Steve. Being on this panel with friends from ASEAN-backed Asean Young Entrepreneurs Association and AMEN is like a family reunion. And I think, that's a bit of a metaphor for what Joey has built over 15 years through Go Negosio, a family of champions and mentors for MSME entrepreneurs across ASEAN and beyond. By way of context, Australia ASEAN Business Council was very honored to have been the first, the organization to help launch AMEN in Australia in 2018, the first time it was launched outside of ASEAN. Just generally on mentoring and the new normal, I'll make a few points on that before going into what AABC does. Global research shows that 70% of businesses which receive mentoring survive for 5 years or more, and that's double the survival rate of businesses without mentoring. 93% of MSMEs acknowledge that mentoring helps with success. So this tells us that what Go Negosio and AMEN are doing is vital, more vital now than ever, as we work to recover from the pandemic. And as a mentor, I'm finding that the nature of mentoring has to adapt to the new normal. The things that Raja and Yanti have mentioned, and William have mentioned, business funding, marketing, digital literacy strategies, all remain important. But there needs to be much stronger focus now on helping MSMEs adapt to changing market conditions and to be market fit in a sense. They need to be able to look at how to minimize risk, how to look for innovation inside and outside of the organization, and to do it all remotely in a way and in a caring way that manages health impacts. So, for example, one of the things that I've been asked on often is help in onboarding new or restructured employees. How do you train and integrate them if you're all working from home? How do you ensure continued productivity, meeting deadlines, and ongoing communication? So what we say is, setting up an internal onboarding mentoring system where an existing senior employee is paired with a more junior employee can help with getting those messages across about expectations, culture, and duties. Mentors need to model and teach behaviors in the new normal. Where did we ever, previously hold online meetings to negotiate, to discuss, and to agree? So where possible, what we're suggesting is that mentees should be included in these online meetings and a debrief is done afterwards. Raja mentioned that MSMEs have an urgent need for technical skills and knowledge related to things like remote work and business. For example, digital payment systems, e-commerce, and digital marketing. And this is where mentors can fill a much needed role as capacity builders too, because right now, we are living in a time where accelerators, incubators, and physical networks may be restricted. I think one important point that I'd like to make is that one of the things that we're hearing from our virtual roundtables is that loneliness is cutting deeply into the mental health of employees and employers, and it's particularly impacting our youth. So in cultures, Asian cultures, where mental health may be a taboo topic, I think it's important for us as mentors to check in with our mentees and just simply ask, how are you going? Are you okay? We don't need to have all the answers, but it does help if we can connect them with resources that may be able to help them cope and just simply let them know that they're not alone. For Australia ASEAN Business Council, we're pivoting in terms of how we deliver our focus on helping ASEAN and Australian mentors connect to or access money, mentors, and markets. Signing of the RCEP, the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement last week, which is centered around ASEAN and has Australia as a partner, shows that we need growth-oriented MSMEs from all countries being innovative, entrepreneurial, and learning how to tap into regional and global markets. Mentors have a critical role to play in helping to nurture and then build that cross-border mindset, the cross-border cultural know-how and skills. And that was part of our drive in bringing delegations of ASEAN entrepreneurs to Australia in setting up entrepreneur exchange programs, all aimed at providing exposure to international best practices, culture, and business opportunities. The visits that we arranged for them often included business forums, site visits to accelerators, incubators, meeting with award-winning companies, and of course, the relevant government agencies. This was a great way for them to get hands-on experience in a different country. But as borders remain closed and international travel requirements are prohibitive, we are pivoting, and in early 2021, we'll be going strong with our Australia ASEAN Mentorship for Entrepreneurs Network, with a focus on virtual mentoring and networking, a hybrid model, just as William is doing in Cambodia. We're also launching a global virtual internship program where international teams of interns will resolve real challenges for growth MSMEs under the guidance of mentors and coaches. We'd love to work with ASEAN partners on these initiatives. Finally, thank you again for the opportunity to be part of Go Nego Show's 15th anniversary celebrations. Congratulations. Now more than ever, we need to stand shoulder to shoulder in fighting surging inequality. And we can each do our part in giving a helping hand. Thanks.
And thank you, Eleanor. Thank you for the very, extensive explanation what you've been doing. Beyond further ado, could I ask, last and not least, Merle to give an introduction of what you've been doing in the Philippines. Are you there, Merle?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Steve. And good morning to all the ASEANs, Philippines included, of course. So first, just to give you a quick intro or background for context, for 15 years, the Philippine Center for Entrepreneurship has been at the forefront, promoting inclusive growth and prosperity through entrepreneurship by putting MSMEs at the heart of our advocacy. Founded in 2005, Go Negosyo has grown from humble beginnings to achieve many milestones in entrepreneurship and MSME development in the Philippines. In 2016, the PCE, or Go Negosyo, teamed up with the Department of Trade and Industry Philippines to launch the Kapatid Mentor Micro Enterprise Program, a mentorship program for MSME capacity development that leverages public-private partnership. By incorporating PPP, the PCE recruited mentors from the private sector while using the DTI nationwide network. As of December 2019, running this program, we had 300 batches and producing 7,337 graduates, micro, small entrepreneurs with over 700 mentors. In 2017, the ASEAN Mentorship for Entrepreneurs Network, or AMEN, was proposed by the Philippines. In 2017, the chair then was the Philippines back. The project was modeled from the KMME and with funding support from JAIF, or the Japan ASEAN Integration Fund. It was implemented from December 2018 to November 2019 for 1 year as a pilot run in 3 countries with largest number of MSMEs in ASEAN, namely Indonesia, Malaysia, and the Philippines. In 2019, under the Amin project, we produced 48 mentors, of which 10 in Indonesia, 19 in Malaysia, 19 in the Philippines. Were certified through the project, and 127 mentees. We have 30 in Indonesia, 49 in Malaysia, and 48 in the Philippines. They were trained. The 10 Amen mentorship modules. Can I ask Claire to please flash the slide? The 10 Amen mentorship modules were developed that includes essential topics for all MSMEs, such as the entrepreneurial mindset, the supply and value chain, entrepreneurial accounting and financial management, human resource and organization management, along with other practical modules. Taxation and business law were replaced by digitalization and governance and ethics modules based on the inputs from the participating countries in order to achieve universality of the modules to be used in all 10 member states. So that's where we are prior to the COVID. And in 2020, that's already almost the start of the COVID, we were actually prepared during the first 2 months to run 100 plus batches of the KMME, and of course, coupling it with MME, that's the money and market encounter, to put in as one, the 3 M's. No? However, well, we all know COVID came in, and realizing that it will stay or it will not go immediately, Mr. Joey Concepcion, no less, has to give us a cue that we need to think, redesign whatever we're doing, and find out how we can proceed, because we need to continue helping the micro and small entrepreneurs as they are or they were really badly hit. Now, so thinking or looking at what we have the modules. We also have the mentors, but it's not easy to reach the mentees or the MSEs because of the lockdown and other protocols. So we have to think and innovate. I think this is the first pivot that Gonegosyo did for mentorship. So we have the fusion of the 2 flagship programs, namely the KMME and the MME, or the Money and Market Encounter, which are both in partnership with the Department of Trade and Industry. So having done this, and then we do the rethinking, we have another challenge. It's the delivery. But then, to put it short, we were able to manage the gaps. We introduced coaching immediately after the 10 modules, and coaching to sort of improve the business plan of our mentees, so that when they get to face the panels who will be listening and rating their performance or their presentation, they will make it with good grades because they're graded. You know? So with the coaches now coming from our mentors pool, we did a good job. And you will note that there are still gaps. Like, what about digitalization? What about the continuity planning? So we have to put in these 2 in the form of webinar. Now, at the end of, at present time, we have already been running 33 sessions on a 2 days a week arrangement.
It's very impressive, Merle. I think looking at the numbers, you reach 1,004 MSME.
Yeah, it's on the screen. So at the same time, I just...
Yeah, perhaps in the interest of time, perhaps we can go through some questions and answers and how we can share on this.
Okay.
Because you only got 10 minutes left, and I really like to get all, the sharing come in.
All right. Then I stop here, Steve. All the figures are on the screen. I have the slides on. And we'll wait for the question and answer. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. So in the interest of time, we got a lot of feedback from every one of you. All the information are very useful. But let me summarize what I have gathered so far. So far, we touched on the structure of mentorship, because a lot of us have been now forced to go in online. So that has also reached a new, market in terms of new segments, which are the younger ones. And I think the other interesting thing that I got from the couple you talking about is the scope of mentorship, where a lot of you are moving from SMEs to MSMEs as well. Okay?
MSEs, yes.
Yes, yes. Because I think the fact that everyone's going online and able to do that, it makes it easier for us to reach. The next area is in terms of reaching out to the mentors. A couple of you have in Cambodia and so on. You talk about reaching out to the other connections that we need, like the financing and market financing and talking with banks and getting the backups and so on. And also, Brunei talk about mentoring from going from one-to-one to even group mentoring.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's important now that we need to reach a bigger market, especially if they're in the same sector. I think the other thing I like to touch on, and this is a question I'd like to ask perhaps Eleanor, because now all of us are Asian in this panel, but Eleanor is based in Australia, okay? Probably Asian as well in Australia, but mostly Asian. I'm going to talk about reverse mentoring. Because for the Asian culture, we are very much used to the younger generation listening to an older or more experienced mentor. Okay? But in today's changing environment, as we can see now with COVID and the young digitalization and so on, the young people has a lot to teach us. We are learning a lot about digitalization and so on, which is not within our scope, that we are learning from the young generation. Would you like to maybe expand on that, Eleanor? And I'll open this to the floor of that as well.
Sure. Steve, I think that respect for seniority, as you say, is a foundation stone of ASEAN culture, Asian culture. And in a new normal, we probably have to learn to adapt this mindset and perhaps allow for reverse mentoring, where the younger generation is given the opportunity to take on mentoring roles where there are key gaps in an organization, key skills gaps in an organization. I've actually tried this before in my previous teams, where I've allowed younger members of my team with very specific skill sets to actually mentor senior ranked team members. Perhaps it was easier to do because it's in Australia, but the results that I found were actually quite amazing. The junior mentors rose to the challenge, they grew in self-confidence, and they basically gained accelerated leadership skills. And the senior mentees learned new skills, they bonded better with the junior mentors, but for me, I think above all, they learned that, being a leader can be about letting someone else have center stage.
Hey, that's very interesting. I think this is definitely the new normal in that. We have 5 minutes left. I would like to maybe use this time to ask each of the panel members to maybe wrap up in a 2 very short sentence. What's the takeaway from this, and what are the main key ingredients that we should look out for, and that we should be looking at in terms of the new normal for mentoring? Can I start back with Raja? Would you like to, make 2 short statements on this?
Yeah, I think basically mentors should themselves find ways to cope with the new normal, learn how to, keep themselves relevant, and share that knowledge with all businesses to explore new normal business models. So it's all updating your digital knowledge, your access to markets, your access to money, everything in a new normal way. The whole remote working, the whole flipping things over, as you talked about flipped mentorships, that whole aspect. There are so many new aspects. So take whatever you're currently doing in your business, whatever you're currently doing in your mentorship, and relook it, with its new glasses or spectacles. That's all.
Thank you so much. Puan Siti, I'd like your comments or wrap up on this, please.
Okay, so a very quick one. I'm just going to touch on a few things. So Brunei Legacy Project next year, which I have just emphasized on Hired, it meant harnessing impact with relevant employables digitally. So this is bringing mentorship in the digital platform, and we emphasize with Tibet, because Tibet needs to be one of the pillars of economic development under this new normality. That's it.
Thank you so much. Mr. Onka from Cambodia, could you share something on that to wrap up?
Yeah, for me, in order, I have a very short message, is for mentorship, we have to keep connecting, keep in touch, and peer-to-peer learning is the best way that we can mentor each other. Because when we do mentoring, we have to learn from our peer also. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And Eleanor, your comments, please.
Thank you. I think it's really important to reach out. Don't hesitate to reach out. Keep reaching out. Be bold. If you need help, if you need a mentor, you might have to knock on a few doors, but eventually you'll find a mentor that's the right fit for you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Merly,
Yeah.
would you like to?
In our case, Steve, it's just to tell everyone that what we did during the pandemic time has given us the confidence that with COVID in place, we can still do it. Mentorship can still continue, and the expansion network for micro and small entrepreneurs can continue. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I think we all agree the new normal has bring in a fresh outlook on mentoring and a fresh outlook in terms of how we can approach the whole thing. And I'm excited that we are all part of this to adapt to the changes. So I think in the interest of time, we have other panels waiting to come on. So I wish we had more time, but I think we got a lot from each one of your panel, from your contribution. I'd like to now ask all of you to smile because we're going to take a group photo. So I think Claire or Jovi manage that.
Double.
All right, that's your big smile. Can we do a second photo with the 2 thumbs up from all our mentors? 2 thumbs up, please. All right. Thank you so much, our distinguished panelists. And thank you, Dato Steve Chea, a very, very good friend of Go Negosyo and ASEAN Back. Thank you, Eleanor, Raja, Och, and Merly. We will see you again. We have a lot more mentorship happening within the next few months.